Peace. What's going on, everybody? I'm checking out this cool pedal I got recently by Crazy Tube Circuits, the Venus pedal. Anyone who knows, like, I've been a big fan of Eric Johnson for, you know, as long as I can remember, coming up and, you know, learning. A big fan of his playing, big fan of his tone. Basically, one of the holy grail pieces of his tone, as far as lead goes, is the BK Butler Chandler tube driver. Personally, I never owned one, but this Venus pedal basically opens up the doorway to that, and basically even more, because what this does encapsulates like pretty much almost every version of the tube driver, from the early version to the later versions and even to the rack mount version. So today I'm running everything through my Mesa Boogie F50 amp, which I've had for, you know, some time. Now, unfortunately, I don't really use that amp as much as far as outside gigging, because I guess I'll apologize now if you do hear some pops and clicks and stuff like that, because that amp needs some work done to it. As far as signal flow goes, we're coming from the guitar, my Suhr Classic S, HSS. Going from the guitar, and we're going into the Venus pedal first, and then from the Venus pedal we're going into the Peterson tuner, to the Exotic Effects EP booster, and then into HX Stomp. No amp simulation right now. I will do later on a demo without my amp, but using basically the pedal through what it would sound like amp sim wise, so that way you can kind of get a feel for what to expect if you're not going to be using the actual amp, but using the HX Stomp or whatever modeling you may choose to use. So yeah, that's the signal flow. And then to the amp, and then from the amp, the mic is the SM57, and that's going into my Zoom F8N Pro multi-track field recorder. So that's I'm not using any post-processing, anything. I'm just going, basically giving you straight from the amp to the mic to the recorder. I did do a little high pass in the recorder because there is a little bit of a low rumble that's going on right now. And of course, I decided to record this video in the middle of a thunderstorm. So if you hear some thunder and lightning, that's what's going on. So yeah, that's pretty much what the signal flow is. Now, back to me getting this pedal. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Eric Johnson. I got to see him a few months back. I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember the date. It was a little while back, but he came to Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, a little while ago when he was on tour. So that was a really cool experience to actually see him perform live. Although he didn't perform Manhattan, which is like one of my favorite songs of his. So that was kind of a bummer, but regardless, it was an incredible performance. Got that pedal because, yes, I'm a fan of that almost violin-like distortion, where it's not like overly distorted, but it's real musical. But needless to say, from what I've been using this pedal for, and what I've been kind of learning with it, is it's a lot of variety in one pedal, because you know, just a simple spec of it, you got, you know, your volume, the bias, basically to control the tube that's inside of here, your drive, and then you got your EQ section, high, mids, lows, and then you got a tight switch, which I keep on. It basically cleans up, you know, the bottom end, and then you have a line driver, which acts as a boost, which I don't have engaged at the moment. But kind of where I have my settings right now is kind of where I've been living with it. Now, granted, I have to say, like, I haven't done an actual gig with it yet. I'm going to be using it tomorrow for a gig, but as of what I've been dialing in with my amp here at home, I've been digging it. But of course, those things can always vary. Those things can, you know, always change. But anyway, so enough of me yapping. Right now, I'm just going to give you just my clean sound. The only thing that's on right now is a little reverb. I do use snapshots. So my snapshot one is just basically just a plain clean sound with reverb. Snapshot 2 is the same thing, but it kicks on delay. And then Snapshot 3 is my solo channel where I'm using the Klon model drive, and then I think I have the valve driver on here, which is based on the tube driver. But I'm probably not going to use much of that. But right now, again, I probably will kick on some delay, but outside of that, all the distortion you're going to be hearing is from, or the drive is going to be from the Venus pedal. So right now, this is my clean sound. Simple enough. So yeah, so I mean, with basically where I got the pedal set right now, this is kind of the vibe I've been digging. I like it. I mean, I use it in a simple way, like most things. I try to keep things simple, but the cool thing about the pedal, like I said, and again, there's plenty of other reviews on this pedal, so I won't get too much into the specifics because again, I'm kind of learning the pedal myself. But the cool thing about it again is with the bias right now, I kind of have it set around like 4 o'clock. But if you bring it all the way down, you get that real spitty, kind of like fuzz tone. So in context for me, what I use the pedal for is, obviously, for soloing and maybe parts throughout songs and stuff like that. I mean, for the past like 10 plus years, I've been fortunate to play with Kindred Family Soul, the fam. So in context to the show, I don't need distortion most of the show. I mean, I'm only using distortion maybe 20%, maybe 30% of the show. I do use it for the intro. I do use it for the solo and Far Away From Here, where no, the original solo, you know, by Randy Bolin, I don't believe it's like distorted. You might have like a little drive on there. I might be wrong. I'm kind of just going off from memory right now, but for me, I do like to use distortion live just to kind of lift it a little bit. You know, if we do songs like Sticking With You, I'll use it for the solo. And when I say this, if I'm just relating to the HX Stomp, because I haven't used this on a gig yet, but that's coming soon. But as far as the HX Stomp goes, you know, if I just need like a quick little boost, I'll just kick on the Clown or whatever. Or actually on one of my other presets, I actually use the Tube Screamer. I think Line 6 calls it the Scream 808. So I'll do that. But if I wanted a solo sound, then I'll kick over to my Snapshot 3. But with this pedal, I feel like I can kind of get a little bit of everything, you know, from here. So like I said, if I'm playing, so I can play it, you know, clean, of course, but like I said, if I'm using HX Stomp, I'll throw on the Clawn. But this pedal, yeah, so I think yeah, so I don't know. I think it's not really going to make sense for me until I actually use it in context during the show. But either way, right now, you know, what I've been digging with the pedal, I've been loving it. So I really don't have any, you know, cons right now. It's really just everything's just learning it. Now the learning curve for me has been these EQs, and I feel like for me, this is kind of where I sit with it, because I'm not a big fan of too much bright, like, that's too much for me. If I was doing like if I was doing a wedding gig and I wanted to have like a variety of distortions and drives or whatever, I would probably set this a little more than neutral, so that way I can use it for, you know, the poppier things and things that really need to cut through, because of that EQ that's like right there, where like some of my other drive pedals, like I have the OCD, the Full Tone OCD, I got the Vertex Ultraphonics, and a fuzz pedal, the Big Muff. With this, I would kind of keep that neutral and use this to get the brighter stuff. But if I'm just using this as like a all-purpose kind of drive distortion, pretty much where I got it set right now is where I'm feeling it. You know, outside of that, I mean, that's pretty much in a nutshell, like the pedal. I mean, like I said, there's plenty of other reviews and demos of this pedal. yeah, so that's with my Fender Strat. I guess a quick little side story. So I've played this guitar, man, I played this guitar for the better part of 20 plus years. And professionally, I've had this guitar since 2002. I think right before I went into 10th grade. I bought it off my guitar teacher. Shout out to Matt. So yeah, like this guitar has been with me. Like if you've seen me perform from I guess the early 2000s up to about 2025, you pretty much see me with this guitar. This guitar has been with me everywhere, like pretty much everywhere I've traveled in the world. This guitar has been with me. So with that being said, in light of this stuff, with the Fender stuff that's been going on, I don't know. Like it's unfortunate either way you look at it, because while, like I said, for someone like myself that's played a Fender Strat for however long consistently, I do feel like it is a bit of a slap in the face to see that they're trying to put a stop to a lot of these companies like Suhr and a list of others that are building incredible guitars, whether they call them Strats or not. The unfortunate thing is that Fender, whether it's their quality control or however you want to look at it, like it's hard for me to go into a music store, let alone that, like, there's the simple fact that music stores nowadays are kind of non-existent, but to go into wherever and pick up a Strat off the wall and fall in love with it, it's hard. Like, and it's not to say that it's just one thing, but when I got my this Suhr guitar, from the moment I took it out the case until like my first chords playing it, like it was just like I felt at home. Just like how I feel at home on this guitar too, but this guitar needs a lot of work. It needs a refret. The intonation on this thing is a nightmare. I mean, because granted, again, like I said, to play this guitar pretty much for like 20 plus years and not really have any serious work done to it. I've had it refretted like 10 years ago, but even that, it's kind of came and gone. But even the internal stuff, it's this guitar, it needs a lot of work, needless to say. So this year I've been really fortunate to invest in newer instruments. So because that was a big thing for me too, to have this guitar for so long and be essentially committed to it. To get a newer guitar was a big deal. So again, like I said, I wanted to get a new Fender Strat, but every time I've gone to pick one up off the shelf, it's like, all right, it feels good, but the tone, the sound isn't good, or it sounds amazing, but the action is a nightmare. And I know some of that stuff can be corrected, and nothing's going to be perfect out the box. But if these companies and these smaller companies that are basically knocking stuff out. Anyway, this video has nothing to do, with Fender, and obviously none of this stuff is sponsored. Like I bought this directly from Crazy Tube Circuits, which I believe is based in Greece, which is a whole another story. Because originally I tried to buy this pedal from an online distributor, and something happened with the shipping where it got lost or somewhere, and I never received it. So I basically had to, get a refund on that, and then I just ordered it directly from Crazy Tube Circuits. And shout out to them, because it was a fast turnaround with them shipping it out, especially coming from Greece to where I'm at. So yeah, but this video is not sponsored by any of this stuff. This is kind of just me. This is me just feeling inspired and just trying to, document like this whole tone journey for me is I'm trying to kind of redefine my tone or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. But like I said, this video is really nothing to do with Fender at all. I just happened to mention it because, you know, for someone like me who has played Fender consistently for a long time, I feel like, you know, I do have, you know, a good say to say in it because, you know, I've been, you know, loyal to this guitar for however long. But anyway, so I'm gonna switch over to the Les Paul and then we'll see what that's vibing like. Because of the Les Paul, you know, with the humbuckers, I do have a separate preset. So right now the preset that I'm on is, you know, my preset for the Strat. But if I bank up one, that's for my extension of the Strat. That's different modulations and stuff. And then that's a whole other modulation. But then this is my Les Paul preset. Pretty much the same thing. Obviously things are gained down a little bit. But so yeah, so yeah, so it to me it translates between whether you're using single coils, humbuckers, yeah. So basically when I'm using amp modeling, this is kind of like my clean slate. I believe I'm using the Cali, Texas Channel 2, which is based off of Lone Star Special, I believe. And then I'm using one of Nathan Cordy's IRs. It's called the JC Cab. So yeah, I got that. Again, back to like I said earlier, basically my snapshot 1 is just clean reverb, that's it. And then snapshot 2, same thing, but now it just has delay. And then snapshot 3 is the solo channel. Now on this preset, I'm using just the tube screamer, or they call it the Scream 808. But I when I got back to from using amp modeling, I needed something to give me a little more, because what I do love about amp modeling is on my snapshots. So if I go to my amp real quick, on channel 1 and 2, they're the same as far as the drive goes. But when I go to the solo channel, I basically boost everything up, so I'm getting more gain out of the amp. So when I run my distortions and stuff into them, you know, it's you know, give me a thing too. And that's what I love about, you know, using HX Stomp. And I know the other models you can do this too, but this is kind of what, you know, I've been using it for when I'm not using an amp. So yeah, that's kind of that. And now let's see what it sounds like with the Venus going into the amp modeling. Now with the Les Paul, so I have to, and I guess I'll demonstrate why I have to have separate presets. So if I kept on the same preset as the single coil, this is what it sounds like with the humbucker. That's the clean channel. So to get around that, I made it, again, like I said, a whole other preset for my Les Paul, or humbuckers, I should say. Yeah, I'm just noodling, guys. I also need to practice. It's funny, but yeah, I'm just goofing around. This has kind of been my take on the Crazy Tube Circuits Venus pedal. Like, I'll leave a link down below for you guys to check it out. So hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next one. Catch y'all later. Peace.